Hello and welcome to my channel. In this video, I want to speak about the current energy, what is happening right now. It is the 6th of January 2025, and there is a certain energy at play. And should you listen to this way later, it could be the case that it's still also occurring for you because it's going to happen in waves. But right now, there's a wave going on here in the Netherlands where people feel depressed. Like, what's the point of this life? I'd rather give up. I don't want to live anymore. It is so dark. It is pointless. Um, they've never felt this low. They've never felt this deep before. And it's not like a normal winter depression. And it's winter here in the Northern Hemisphere. And of course, in wintertime, people have a harder time. But this winter, there's something else going on. And that is the thing that I want to speak about because I've experienced it as well. And I've seen and I've gotten the information from the Akashic records or whatever you want to call it, from Spirit, from God, about what this is. So, this energy that we're feeling right now has a lot to do with death. This is not just ego death, this goes deeper. So, in a way, we're being confronted with death, with dying, or living. What is worth living? How are you not alive yet? Of course, you're living when you're listening to this, but there's parts of you that are not alive. And all these parts are coming to the surface right now, which is a really important and good thing. This has everything to do with masculine energy. Last year, like last winter, the previous year, we moved through shock of the masculine, and now we're moving to death. I'm not saying death of the masculine, but the funny thing is, in order to have your masculine energy fully come alive, whether you're man or woman, but especially for men, if you want to be a man standing in your power, if you are a woman and you want to bring forth your masculine qualities like presenting your work to the world, standing tall, having good boundaries in place, being filled with you, and that's all masculine principles. It's a deep presence that enables you to penetrate the world with you, whatever it is that you do. Um, that is being healed right now. And how is it being healed? By all the parts that are dying or dead or not online or not alive or not awake. They are being brought to the surface right this winter. And it will continue to do so throughout all 2025. In Europe and I think globally, this will happen. But right now, it's already here in the Netherlands and it's very clear. It's very dark. And I always used to say, it's funny, I have this little figure here. It's a wolf. I've been having this on my desk for years. And I put it there because years ago, I told a man that if he wanted to rise into his power and face his mother issues, he would have to face the wolf in himself. Funny story, the area where I'm living right now, there's wolves active. Their presence is growing, which is unusual for such a big city area here in the Netherlands. And the wolf has been away from our country for a long time. But anyway, the wolf is a metaphor, it's a symbol of meeting the rawest power inside of you that has everything to do with facing death. In order to come fully alive, you must face death. That is what happens right now to all of us. we are being faced with death without being held at gunshot, without having a war actively going on. This is the war inside of us. And maybe even for some of us, I also had an encounter that actually was life threatening for real on a physical level as well. But everything that is holding you back to truly live your life fully with the whole essence of you, that is being thrown out. That is what's going on right now. And this is pushing an aspect of our being to the surface that is a very toxic masculine energy. And I'm not saying the men are toxic. No, it's a masculine energy that is leaving our system, that has held us back for a very long time to not trust the feminine. This energy held all of us back to not listen to our intuition, to not listen to anything that was otherworldly, intuitive, not explainable by science or data or analysis, but by gut feeling, by instinct, by intuition, the very feminine trait of the world. So all the judgment and all the ridicule and all the disgust that the masculine would feel, whether that's in a man or in a woman, doesn't matter. That is leaving us right now. Completely. It's going to leave the planet. In order for us to reconnect to the feminine at a complete level, because this is holding us back to connect to the feminine and allow her to be at all levels. So this is, I'm a woman, so connecting to me, connecting to my sister, or connecting to your feminine side when you're a man, connecting to your daughter, connecting to the earth, which is feminine as well. So this is absolutely necessary for our human evolution, that we as a species are embracing and are reconnecting to the feminine on every level. And for this to occur, the toxic masculine energy that does not want to do this because he feels betrayed, because he feels unsafe, because he feels attacked or unsafe with the feminine energy, that part is leaving us right now. And it happens first with the women. It's leaving in them. But I also see men being confronted and even men dying in order to let go of this energy. So let me explain a little bit further what I mean with this toxic masculine energy. I'm sure if you're a woman, you had one or more encounters that went like this. That whenever you would express your intuition, you would talk about your psychic abilities, whether you could have clairvoyance or, yeah, you know what I'm talking about, huh? Whenever that would happen, you would be scolded, you would be ridiculed, you would be talked down, you would have been attacked, maybe even. You would be called a liar. You would be said, they would say to you, I'm not here to talk to you about, and they would just start attacking you and pick a fight or leave you. This could have been your spouse, it could have been a colleague, this could have been a friend or a random person on the street. It doesn't matter. But part of you was not taken seriously. And that part is a very feminine part. It's the part where we are so open that we can gather so much information from multiple levels that the very masculine presence cannot, because it's not that open. So he'd rather measure things with numbers and tools to measure things to make it visible what is happening. And us women, or the feminine quality, men can do this too, They can be so open that they can receive this information and process it and use it, but then it wasn't taken seriously. And even though the world has changed, even though there's now so many more psychics, many more mediums, many more astrologers, many more clairvoyants, people, channelers, the whole shebang, even though they're more existent and they have more space to move, there's still a huge part of society and humankind that wants to completely shove away these people and these abilities. It's still not completely honored and respected and taken for real, that this is something real, because it is. I remember in my medical training, the instinct of a mom, well, when a child comes to the ER, and the instinct of a mom, whether something's wrong, is a point of score to take seriously. So yes, we've evolved. We know that it's important. But now, in this time and age and day, we are going to a whole new level where the feminine will be embraced at full capacity. She will be taken seriously. Her oracle is returning because she feels inside her body. She knows. And throughout the years, the women, myself included, we've done the inner work that our embodiment has deepened, has been, it grew very strong, very stable. And it brought us to the new level where we can just kind of push out this toxic masculine energy that does not believe, this does not take serious, it does not take in the full spectrum of the feminine, which is that she has this knowledge. Because he used to feel a threat. He used to feel threatened. So all the men and masculine energy in us is being confronted this year with the parts in themselves that are not believing this quality, that do not want to receive the feminine, that do not want to surrender to the feminine, that do not want to honor the feminine, that does not want to have the feminine lead and say, like, no, we need to go this way because there we're safe, and not that way because my intuition is telling me. So what is happening? We are encountering death. Why is that? Because it has everything to do with life force energy and your very first moments, weeks, days, weeks, months, years in your life where you came out of your mother, a woman, and then she betrayed you by not being there for you enough. Whether she did that on purpose or not is not, I'm not talking about that. It's not about blaming mothers. No, every single mother out of conditioning, out of culture, out of lack of her own, out of trauma of her own, has not been able to give you, the child, everything you needed. Otherwise, you would be enlightened or very close to it, because it's the first moments where the imprint is of your trauma. And whenever you were left crying, and whether that's because the husband said it and she did it too, the betrayal runs through the mother because you needed her most. You came out of her womb, and however she acted when she was not allowed to follow her intuition, her gut instinct, and she didn't act because she was told otherwise, then you suffered. Then you did not get what you needed, that what she already knew, but couldn't do. Otherwise, she would have been scolded, would have been in danger, would have been pushed down, she was suppressed. The feminine has been suppressed for so long, for such a deep extent, that this is the result of it. And that means that babies that now are grown men and women feel betrayed by their mother. And this is completely on a subconscious level. They'll be like, no, I'm fine. My mom's fine. I had a great childhood. Well, for sure you did. But are you truly living? No, because your mom wasn't truly living. And you feel that. It feels like the biggest betrayal. It feels like you're not allowed to live. This is existential terror that is coming up right now. We're shaking. We're, it's insane what's going on. Trembling on the inside. And then we come to the stage like, what's the point? I've tried so much. Like, oh, these women right now, you've worked so hard. You've tried everything. You've tried everything to rise to the occasion and live your best life. And then yet you're still dying. You feel it's pointless. What's the point? That's because us women still don't have the rightful place in society, in the earth, on this plane that we should have. We're not protected. Why? Because the men, the masculine, feels threatened by the feminine because of him or her not receiving enough from the mother as a very small little baby. So, whenever somebody is very feminine with these mystical traits, with intuition, with but also even love, very loving, very empathic, and very caring, this can trigger people into their deepest wounds and they become reactive and they want to push you away. Because what do we do when we feel wounded, when we feel attacked, when we feel, what do we do? Either we fight, we push away, and we do it nastily. This is nasty. Or we walk away and we leave you alone and we abandon you. That's what we do. So this is what's happening. And this is going to go and increase and go crazy this year. Everybody is going to hit their core wound problem. Yeah. It's going to be insane. And in order to get through this wound, it feels like dying. It feels like you have to embrace death in order to live, in order to be resurrected again, for real. Because it comes to the point where you feel like this happened to me as well. My life was threatened like a couple of weeks ago. I got attacked, and if it continued, if it had taken longer, it would have taken my life. Um, and when this happens, so when you're being confronted with literally like, what's the point? I don't want to be here anymore. Then you're being confronted with all the things inside of you that you're suppressing, where you are not you, where you're not living your power, your dreams, your essence. It's not even about dreams because dreams can be so coming from the ego. This is not about getting your dream car or I don't know. This is about way deeper stuff. This is about truly, truly deep stuff. It's not about your dream relationship. It's not about your dream place to live. It's not about those things. It's about who you truly, truly are. And part of you is feminine. And this femininity has been suppressed. I think all women know what this has looked like, and you've all suffered. And men, they do not know how to cry. They do not know how to show their hearts and be vulnerable. Many women also don't, by the way. But and now they have to because their wife is dying and their children are suffering because he is not owning his heart. And the women, well, for me, it was the case like, okay, either I die now for real, or I'm going to live my life. with who I am. You get what I'm saying? To the core, not just a little bit, not just, oh, I'd like to do this or that or the other thing. No, I have to show myself fully, which is also why I'm showing up here. I don't care anymore who's going to find out what I believe, not even the institutions, because everything that could possibly go wrong has already happened to me. And then it didn't happen anyway because I stayed present for it. And I showed up and I pulled through, not from force, from masculine, no, from presence, from deep rooted embodiment by surrendering. Like, okay, I accept that I am, how do you say that? That I am mortal. I accept that I live in a human body that is subdued to the rules of mortality. And this surrender, the acceptance of death, has freed me to a whole new level. It has freed me, and I have to practice this every day. It does not happen just like, okay, switch turned on and like, okay, now I am just me. No, I still have to incorporate it every day and integrate it every day and take new leaps and steps where I am showing up as me on all levels. And this goes deep. And I already was a profound embodied woman with a lot of inner work done. I was very authentic even a month ago, or 2 months ago, or a year ago. But now I am pushed, as with me are many, to my core, beyond my limits. Please don't tell yourself, like, oh, I cannot do it. It's too much. Suck it up. It is happening. Nobody's fault that this is happening. It's happening to you. You better deal with it. You better open up to it and go for it, because this, in essence, is our biggest liberation. It's not comfortable, though, but it's necessary. So the wolf is the metaphor for looking death into the eyes. Fight the wolf. Surrender to the wolf. And you can fight him, you're going to lose. However, if you bow to the power of this, you will live. You will resurrect. You will shine because you know how to be in the darkest place. And you will see that from this darkness comes true power that is palpable, that is unwavering, that has nothing to do with power as we perceive it in the world with war and power struggles. No, this is true innate power. This is animalistic power. When a wolf stands in front of you, you just look him into the eyes and then he will bow. That is the kind of power I'm talking about. That is the kind of power that we are reclaiming, remembering, resurrecting into, because we're going to need it, because this is who we are, because this is part of our evolution, and this is only the beginning. Doesn't mean that bad things are happening or going to happen. Maybe for a while, but I'm just saying there's a lot more that we are going to explore in our lifetimes that feels like this, the discovery of the Americas, but then even way bigger. And no, that's not outer space. It's in us. It's the stuff in us that we're going to discover. So we're preparing, we're getting ready by surrendering our fear of dying. Because if we are afraid to die, we will not fully live. We will suppress our magic. We will suppress our wisdom. We will suppress our true power. And we will not get there. Then we'll die. It's just evolution. So if you are crumbling on the floor, if you are in an existential terror, trembling, then this is what you're going through. And it's both, there's a feminine aspect of it and a masculine aspect, but I will talk about this in another video. Because for now, that would be just too much. I just want you to realize that what is happening right now is good. And it's all about receiving the feminine completely. So I am becoming more and more feminine every day, and not just the soft parts, but the really powerful parts too. Because I am no longer afraid that somebody will tell me, no, that's inconvenient that you say that. I don't want to hear it. I'm not here to have that conversation with you, or I'm just gonna tell lies about you so you won't. No, that's not holding up anymore. You can see it in so many things that's going on in the world right now, that when women step up, the feminine steps up, she will be heard and things will go in her favor from now on because she speaks truth. And the men, or the masculine, also inside of us women, has to come to terms with that. You cannot outsmart this wisdom any longer. You will have to surrender to the feminine. If you want to change the world, whatever the problem is, whether it's war, whether it's climate, whatever you want to believe in that's going on, it begins with surrendering to the feminine who holds the biggest truth. The gate, she is the gatekeeper to life. She births life. She brings the spirit. She's the vessel that spirit is received into this little baby that is growing into her womb. And she is the portal to the earth where this is brought into. It's her. And we have suppressed, diminished, betrayed her for a very long time. And everyone is suffering because of this, not just the women, the men as well. So right now, everybody is waking up to a whole new level where we start to see this, feel this, embrace this, and transform it, transmute it. So we can truly be women and men can truly be men. And the feminine power is reestablished on earth, honored, revered, celebrated. And only if this happens, then the men can also truly rise into their power. It doesn't happen the other way around. It's the feminine first. Because imagine what would happen that the masculine would rise to their full physical power without being connected to the heart and the feminine. They would destroy the world completely. So, if you're a woman, the masculine part of you that is holding you back from all these old belief systems that you are not allowed, that you're unsafe being a woman, having your feminine qualities, he is dying. Let him, let him, let him die. Go surrender to this process. And look at all the ways that you want to avoid this process, how you want to trick yourself, tell yourself stories, how you want to keep yourself big, how you want to avoid the deepest corners of this, or point at others. No, no, no. This is happening in you and it's happening in others too, but you have to do you. And then there will come a decision, there will come an insight. It's not even an insight. Something, an impulse will come from your body before you know what it's about, and you will act. And this action is good. But it's coming from very deep, from the most dark place. So if you think like, oh no, I should just do this or that or the other thing, that's not it. That's just your ego trying to keep you safe from the depth of this experience. That's not it. You get it? Go all in, go deep. If you want help, I'm here. Book a session. because there's no other way but to go through it. And then there's the men. They will have to face the mother wound as well. They will have to face their mother. They will have to face their wife. They will have to face the woman, the feminine that they don't want to embrace because they're deeply scared, because they feel deeply alone in this, because they feel betrayed and left alone by their mothers, deeply inside. And instead of feeling that pain, they push other people away, they ridicule them, they overthrow them, and they even harm them. And then they have all these needs, this huge power inside of them that wants to take and wants to. You see my face? It wants to take. If the mother wound is not healed, they will take for themselves at the cost of women. They will hurt women because they are so in need to be filled, and they're so enraged, and there's so much hatred inside of them towards the feminine that it's all about their mother and lineages of mothers before them and the fathers who did not honor their women. You have to face these things, men. You have to face it. It is your problem. It is your wound. You must heal it. Nobody else can do it for you. If you harm other people, it's on you. If you rape, if you take, if you step over her limits, over her boundaries, and you know it, you know what you're doing. You need to stop. Also, if you are ignoring her, letting her just figure it out on her own, you will have to step up because it's you who does not take action. It's you who's not protecting her. This is your business. This is your call to do something. If you see it, if you have the consciousness to see it, you must act because you're a man and it is your role and part to act in the outside world. It is your job to fully own your power and exactly know how to control it so you don't have to control her. You need to learn how to control yourself and allow this power to arrive in you. Then you can have pleasure, then you can have freedom, but together. It's not the other way around. This will not hold up anymore at all. Do you hear me? Not a single guy is off the hook here because I know, you know, a guy who says trash, talks trash about women, or says something or did something that wasn't right. Where it is on the spectrum, I don't care. It needs to stop because you are diminishing, disrespecting a part of yourself because you also have feminine parts. Your heart. You also have vulnerabilities and needs. You can get everything. She can give you everything if you allow her and if you can control your power and if you can open and surrender to her. Is this comfortable? No, it is not. It will feel like hell. And it will be your liberation, and you will end up in heaven because that's what she's bringing. The woman is bringing heaven down to earth. Let her, receive her. She is your blessing. But you keep being afraid of her, running away from her, battling and fighting with her, and then blaming her for the fight. No. You need to look at your own narcissistic traits and egotistical. And even if this triggers the shit out of you, are you angry? Great. Embrace your power, learn how to contain it, control it, and feel your own pain. Where is this coming from? What am I touching? You know, you should be so safe that a woman can trigger you, say something stupid, and that you're like, I see what she's doing. I'm just going to direct her into the right direction. I'm not triggered. I see that I love her. Because physically, you know it, you're always going to be more powerful than us. But energetically and on the inside, emotionally, you're not. There's a lot to learn and a lot to receive. And this is what we women want. The feminine wants you to enjoy her. The earth wants you to enjoy her, not to plead her, not take from her until there's nothing left to be enjoyed because it's dead. See, when you have a wound inside of you, and this calls for all of us, that is about your right to exist, that you don't, if you feel you don't have the right to exist, then somebody else must die in order for you not to feel it, or something else. You see? And usually, mostly of the time, it's the most sensitive, open person that is dying. And usually, most of the time, this is a woman, can also be a man. And this is also inside of you. There's a part of you dying, whether you're man or woman. Part of it needs to die. It's this masculinity that is dishonoring, disrespecting the feminine in himself, in herself, in the world. And then we need to resurrect, rise to the occasion and do the scary thing, but the thing that is right. For a woman, this will feel scary, but then liberating. For a man, this feels like hell. This feels highly uncomfortable and it will take a while before you break through. And then it's like, oh my God, now I know. Now I see. Oh my God, I'm so glad. I'm so grateful that I did this. I'm so grateful that I was pushed to the limit because I had to see this. And then there's also women who try to avoid this shit and they feel like, no, I cannot address this. This doesn't feel right. It's too much. Fuck it. Shut up. Suck it up. Move deeper. You have to address it. It will not walk away. This is the time where you get to stay, my dear woman, my dear feminine. The feminine gets to stay this time. All you need to do is stay put and speak out how you feel. This is hard enough. Yeah? But this time, we're not leaving. This time, we cannot be killed because we're here. We are the embodiment of the feminine. It is here. And we will take the man there just because we're already anchoring the energy. How do we do this? For example, I am showing up in specific cases where I'm confronting men and the system that does not understand, all this abuse that they also facilitated in the system. It's changing now because I am showing myself. I'm not walking away. I'm not hiding. I'm not dying. I've already died. So I'm here now. I'm fully alive. And I am no longer afraid to just show them how it is and they will feel it because I feel it and my consciousness is there and it's just immediately transmitted. I don't have to convince anybody. I do have to show up. I have to be present. I need to speak up or say things, but just by my presence now, it's changed. They see it, they feel it. They're all of a sudden like, oh my God, huh? Eyes opened wide. And this is going to happen this year at a humongous level. All right. I love you guys. Please ask for support right now. Ask your lineage, your ancestors to come and support you. I can feel them lining up behind me right now. It's like, I can rest in their presence. I can ask. So, this is very feminine thing to do. I am calling for support in things that you cannot see, but you can feel it. So, I'm calling the light family to surround me, to protect me. I'm calling um, the wind, the earth, the fire, the water, the ether, and love to work with me here. I am made of these things. So basically, I'm calling myself to life. And this is no longer ridiculous or weird. No, this is of vital importance. We're going to need this. We're going to need to work with these energies. We're going to need to understand the cycles of the universe, the mysteries, the intuitions to a high level because we're going to need it. And we're also going to love it because it's so exciting, you know? Telepathy, seeing with your eyes blindfolded. We can all do these things. Regenerative healing. We don't need machines. We are it. And this is how we are being reminded of what we are. And this is how we're being propelled forward to start living it. So Jesus died on the cross. And right now we are dying too. So the suffering can die and we can resurrect for real. Sending you all my love. And until next time.